Hello, everybody. Welcome to Here's the Thing, the podcast where myself and Liam are going to talk about anything and everything that we want to. You know, break things down,
critique things,
critiques,
complain,
stories.
Yeah.
Maybe make a few jokes that hopefully you'll find funny.
probably.
Yep. So any friends, family, colleagues, hopefully at least one stranger tuning in. Welcome to us talking about
The Last
of Us season 2.
Episode 1, but not about the show, not episode 1 of the show, it's episode 1 of
Episode 1 of Here's the Thing.
Alright? Because that's we always say that every
I
time.
really wanted to do the synchronization, so let's just...
We kind of did, didn't we?
No, we'll do it. Are you ready?
Alright, wait. We'll keep this in. This is
authentic.
authentic.
Alright,
This is
ready?
authentic. Ready? 3,
Set.
2, 1.
Here's the thing about The Last of Us season 2.
That's good. That was
pretty good.
That was
Alrighty. I guess to start off, we'll just talk about our relationship with the game.
Yeah.
Because it's an adaptation,
Of course.
and
You can't talk about the show without talking about the game. Unless
so-
you've never played the game, but that's
which we'll get into that later because I
Deserves
have
to be-
someone's opinion that we can
Yes.
share. You want to start off talking about
yes.
The Last of Us?
I
and what it
have
means to
known.
you?
I have known The Last of Us for many a year. I bought the game. Well, my mum bought it for me when I was 9, on my 9th birthday when the game came out in 2013. I loved it too much actually because I played it about 50 times throughout my life. And then the PS4 remaster came out. I played that 50 times. Part 1 came out, the remake. I played that 50 times, even though that's been out for 2 years. So I was a little bit obsessed with this game. I love it. I know I have memorized the script like back to front. I know everything about this game. So that's my relationship with part 1. And part 2, obviously that came out when I was about 16, and the reception was very interesting. I love the game personally. I think it's amazing. It's one of my favorite games of all time. I mean, both of them are, but I think that people don't really understand it that well, or at least the people who don't like it. Much like how they don't understand season 2, and even the creators don't. But we'll get into that later.
Okay.
Cooper,
Alrighty. So I only played. Obviously, I knew what The Last of Us was. It was a big thing, but I wasn't much of a story mode gamer when that game came out. My siblings played it, and they had great things to say about it. And part 2 came out, and obviously, I heard all the discourse about they killed Joel and all of that stuff. But again, I didn't watch any walkthroughs of the game. I didn't play the game. I didn't watch my siblings play it. My only exposure to the games was really hearing my friends talk about it because they all played it. And then on a whim, I decided to just start playing story games. I bought a PS5 for myself. I played Ghost of Tsushima first, but got bored with it after a while.
Overrated.
So then Liam was like, please play The Last of Us. And I'm like, it's free, so I might as well. And long story short, I played up until the museum. Is that what it is? Where Tess dies?
The Capitol building.
Yeah, so in about 2 days, it took me 2 days. I played a couple of hours, got up to the Capitol building, saved. I was like, yeah, not for me. And then I didn't touch the game for a very long time, months. And then one day, in a fit of sickness, I decided to just play the game because I was so bored. And I was like, I should just play it because I promised myself I'd at least finish one game in this quote-unquote story mode game adventure. And then ended up playing from Capitol building to the end of the game in one sitting.
You texted me talking about how you were in winter, and I was like, what the fuck?
No, because it's so funny because you were typing.
I was typing.
He was literally typing. Are you still playing The Last of Us?
Yeah.
As I texted him
About The Last of Us.
Winter is the best thing I've ever experienced in gaming ever. That first game, so good. I love it so much. I only played it once, but I have because it was a couple months ago.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed it. Winter was my favorite section of that. We're not talking about The Last of Us Part 1, so I won't ramble. Then obviously, naturally, I wanted to play Part 2, which I knew a lot of people, everyone always says, story's shit, gameplay is amazing. So I was going in ready to just have a fun time playing the game. Obviously, I knew Joel was going to die, so I think that kind of, we can talk about that later, how that might have changed my experience with the game.
Yeah.
But long story short, I really, really like Part 2 as well. I think I like Part 2 even more than Part 1. It's difficult because they complement each other. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed Part 2 immensely. Sort of similar thing happened. I finished Ali's part of the game, and then a self-imposed break before I played the Abby section because
Yes.
I wanted to treat it as a separate
Not
game.
as long of as a break though.
No, it was only like a week.
Yeah.
And then Abby, very bored with Abby for the first like 2 hours. Not bored, that's the wrong word, but like
You rejected at first.
easing,
They want you to though.
yeah,
Like,
easing into it.
yeah.
And then from the moment you meet Lev and Yara, I was locked in. Like I finished it within 2 days. So yeah, that's how I feel about The Last of Us Part 2. We both are pretty fond of it.
Yeah.
And obviously the game got adapted into a show,
Yes.
which is what we're here to talk about today. We're not here to talk about the games, but you know, we can't really talk about the show without talking about the games. We're going to do our best to tackle the show as a show first of all, but there's no way we do this without talking about the games at all.
Yeah.
So
we should make a counter of the amount of times we say in the game. In this,
yeah.
episode.
You know what? That's a good idea. We'll do that. So, all right. So you were saying,
Yeah. So what were your thoughts on season 1?
I watched season 1 pretty recently. I watched it similarly to the game.
Yeah.
I watched the first episode, then didn't watch any of it,
Yeah.
and then I got really sick and binged the rest of it in a single day. I don't think season 1 was bad. Like, we're talking strictly television here. I was entertained by season 1. I wasn't sitting there like, why am I watching this? Like, it was entertaining. It's just, it was a story I had seen before, and I feel like the changes that they did make with season 1, there are a couple that I really liked, and there was others that I was like, ooh, why did that need to be changed? But overall, I did enjoy. I think season 1 is a good piece of television. It's really, really well. The scenes that it, like the character changes it makes, I feel like are completely valid. Like the way that Joel is different in the show compared to the game. There we go. Talked about the game. Compared to the game is very it makes sense. Like it makes sense that that is how someone would be in real life, and I feel like Pedro Pascal does a great job portraying Joel in that way. I really like Tommy. Like, I don't really care that they don't look like the characters.
They don't need to, as long as they capture the essence.
They capture the essence, exactly. Then, like, big contentious point, everyone likes to clown on Bella Ramsey. I didn't have a problem with their portrayal of Ellie that much. When I first watched it, I will admit, it took me a while to warm up to them as Ellie, but the main thing was just the voice. I felt like the voice was a bit off, but then as it got into it, there were moments where I was smiling and like, this is The Last of Us. This feels like The Last of Us. But what about you?
So I watched season 1 when it came out. I was there when like they were announcing the show's creation, and I was skeptical, but I loved The Last of Us, so I was interested. When it came out, I was watching it week to week, and I liked it at the time, and I still do, especially after season 2. I've grown more of an appreciation for it. I really like Pedro Pascal as Joel. Like, he's amazing, I think. Like, amazing actor, everything like that. Bella Ramsey, their performance, I think they are a very good actor. I think as Ellie as a character in the game, she has like,
in the game,
she's like jaded, right? Even at 14, she's got this like edge to her, but she has this like kindness like underneath that like permeates throughout like their journey. Like, it will just come out, like when she's like enamored by the fireflies when they get to Billstown. And I think Bella Ramsey lacked that in their performance a little bit. Like, they almost were, Ellie as a character seemed a little bit too mean, in my opinion, or like
the like sarcasm came across as just like
rude.
spiteful and rude, whereas Ashley Johnson, her delivery of
it was more endearing in my opinion.
It felt like a 14-year-old kid trying to be funny. And trying
exactly.
to be like, look at me, I'm so cool.
Yeah.
Whereas with Bella Ramsey, it felt more like this version of Ellie, she's genuinely so angry at the world that
the way I would say it is. How Ali acts in the game during the winter section when Joel's hurt, and how she's like way more standoffish to everyone.
Yeah.
That's how she acts around the whole show.
Yeah.
Which I had a problem with, but it doesn't break the show or anything.
Doesn't.
Overall, production value, everything like that, I think the
Production
show
value is so good.
is very
in
good.
season 1.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, in both seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Season 2 production value is
Oh, it's
even better.
astounding. Yeah, of
It's
course.
fucking like Game of Thrones
Yeah,
level.
yeah.
Like a lot of people can.
Episode 2 is like
Yeah.
the
watches
end
on
of
the wall.
season 2. Yeah.
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 It's like it's great. It's great production value.
Yeah.
Speaking of season 2, what are our brash first opinions on the second season?
Okay, I think that as a piece of television, it is good overall, production wise. Like the color grading, the CGI effects, everything like that. Very good piece of television. As a story that is an adaptation of a game, I think it leaves a lot to be wanted, but overall, like I'm saying, as a show, it's okay. But I still think that it is very disappointing as a fan of the games. Even as a fan of season 1, it seems like a departure in many ways. My overview of the season as a whole is that it is a sanitized version of a story that is deliberately challenging you
And in your face.
and in your face.
Yeah.
And I think that to sanitize a story like that just creates problems and problems and problems until it's not even recognizable.
Because like
almost.
I guess you could try and it's trying to keep the essence that we're talking about, the
Yeah.
essence of the story of the second
Yeah.
game, but that doesn't really work if you don't commit to it fully.
Exactly.
Which is
And
what
it feels
the
like
game
they
did,
weren't committing.
Which is we bring up the game again.
Yeah.
It did feel. I guess my biggest takeaway from the second season is, and I'm going to bring the game up here not as a comparison, but as like a example. You look at the way the story in the first game is set up, and then part 2 is like the most natural extension of that in this world, extension of the themes, extension of the characters, all of that. You take the show and you take season 1 and then season 2, to me, doesn't feel like that extension. They set it up in the first 2 episodes, which we'll get into our episode rankings and stuff like that. They set it up pretty well. Obviously, we'll talk about like Joel's death scene and all of that and our opinions on that. But I think ultimately the first 2 episodes, I was like, okay, they're setting it up, let's go. After episode 2, their ability to naturally follow the story how I think it would unfold with the way the show's already established their characters doesn't work.
No.
I feel like it doesn't earn anything.
No, not at all.
And it feels like like you were saying, as a show, production value amazing. Obviously, we're not the first people to say this, but the clothes should not look that new. Like I understand they've got like a civilized town going, but there's no clothes being made.
There's no
Definitely
washing
not
machines.
of that quality. Like,
and the hairs. Like, okay, look, Isabella Merced is a very beautiful actress. Dina should not be looking that good in an apocalypse. That's all I'm saying.
none of them should.
Fully like done up hair. I just doesn't seem believable to me. But
Yeah,
if you can get past that, which I mean you kind of can, you forget about it.
you do.
It only annoys you when you think about it too much. But as a whole, you can forgive it.
What I was gonna say of that whole aspect of the show of like craftsmanship, again, really great. The story, like you were saying, and I'm gonna go out here and say, the writing was
In some episodes.
in some, not all of them,
No.
and we can get into specifics later. But the writing was not as good as the first season,
No.
and that's not to say it was horrible. Like,
It wasn't.
this show is like it's levels above like fucking Riverdale. Like, it's not like we're watching I don't have it. It's not like we're watching Gotham Knights. like the
exactly. Oh, fucking
Shitty
God,
CW. It's
I
not a
forgot-
shitty CW
I
show,
forgot
even
that
though
show
at
is-
times
Sometimes it feels
I
like
referred
a
to it as a CW show. Ultimately, I'd rather watch this
Yes.
than a
I
CW
agree.
show.
I agree.
Is the the characters are still there, and there's moments where you can feel it.
See it.
But my main contention for me of this whole season is that nothing feels earned.
Nah.
So when you have those moments, in the moment when I'm watching it, I'm like, fucking finally.
Yeah.
But then 5 seconds later, I'm like, but come on, like this doesn't, for what you've tried to set up with your characters and how they've been acting everywhere else up until this point, this doesn't make sense. If you want to change it, change it. If you want to do it the same, do it the same.
You can't have this halfway thing. Even like with season 1, right? Well, first of all, it's a complete story. It's not one half of the story. But even then, it has a beginning and an end. And at the end of it, you feel like there's been progress that has been made. There's a journey that's been fulfilled. The characters are in a different place, right? Season 2, I can't tell you what any of their arcs are. I can tell you about it in the game. In the show, where their arcs would like be explored, where you would think they would be explored, but they aren't. In like ways that I find baffling. I don't understand what the thought process was. I'm sure there was like some reasoning. I just think that there probably would have been a better way to explore that in the show.
Yeah,
I think that so in the first game and the second game, there's a tonal difference, right? That is like you can feel it, but it makes sense. Like it's a continuation in the sense.
It just feels natural.
Exactly. There's tonal shift between season 1 and season 2 is very off. It doesn't feel like the same. It doesn't feel like the same like
people.
Yeah, genre even.
Yeah. On tone, just quickly, it's like even in individual episodes, they'll jump from like keeping everything so goofy and like playful and like this is funny, haha, to serious.
Yeah.
Which I'm gonna bring up the game again, but the game does that as well.
But it doesn't. The comedy is like
the comedy in the show. Ali is trying to be funny.
Yeah, Ali's just actually funny
in the game. She's not trying. Her jadedness and her anger and her melancholy that is making her like talk the way she is and being this brunt, like very standoffish. Like you say something and she's just gonna like kind of nudge it off. That's what's funny. Her responses aren't her trying to be funny. It's fueled by something deeper.
Yeah, it's like comedians, like they mask pain with comedy. That's how Ali feels in the show, in the game. In the show, okay, you know how Ali acts in the museum section of part 2 when she's with Joel, and how she's like extremely goofy in the game.
Yeah,
she's extremely goofy, over the top, always making jokes. That's how she is in the whole show.
Yeah,
and it shouldn't be that way. Joel dying is like something that basically ruins her life and her mentality. She's riddled with PTSD. She can't eat, she can't sleep. All she can think about is vengeance, right?
The show makes such a point to remove the subtlety of their relationship and that like father-daughter.
Yeah, they hammer it in your face.
Everyone knows that it's a father-daughter dynamic. We didn't need to hear that out loud. They made the choice to say it out loud, which we'll get into that because we both have said, especially with episode 6 as much as it's like not subtle, we like
we'll get into
expression.
That. We'll get into
but like the show makes such a point to have the characters explicitly say and openly admit he's my dad.
Yeah.
Like, he is my
Daddy,
father.
daughter day. Joel talking about like, I never got to this point with Sarah, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Like, so it's even more to the audience, I'd say, I assume, impactful when he dies in front of her. You know, like, he goes from, like, and it's a great parallel. Like, the show, season 1, the game, everything opens with a father losing his daughter.
Yeah.
And then
part 2,
a daughter losing her father. Which is that's a very good parallel, and that should make Ellie, arguably, with the way she is in season 1, even more angry in season 2 than she is in part 2. Like, you could make a justification that they could have made her like what's the saying? Like fucking
Rambo?
Boots to the wall. Like fucking like so and fucking
you
mad.
See slivers of that in the show, but when it does happen, it feels like
doesn't feel earned.
Because 1 second she's like, I'm gonna be a dad, and then she's talking about how like she's screaming about how much she hates Abby or whatever. The show just seems to have, to me, a fundamental misunderstanding of what works so well in the game. It feels like they've taken story points.
The person who came up with that story is...
And I don't like. This isn't putting blame on them. I think it was just in the creative process they thought that this was working, and I just don't think it did very well.
I mean, this might be wrong, but it's like they are forgetting that there are millions of people
Yeah.
that are watching this show because of the games.
Mm-hmm.
And like, if I had made a game as great as The Last of Us and The Last of Us Part 2, I would want to service that story for the fans of the games.
Yeah.
I like, look, obviously it's great to bring in new people, but new people are going to come either way.
Yeah.
And I understand that you don't want to make a direct one-to-one adaptation because then you're looking at like, you know, live action Lion King, like what's the fucking point?
There's no point.
But they've proven with season 1 that they can make subtle changes.
Original content.
The
Original content
Bill
in
and
the
Frank
Last of Us.
episode is the best episode.
The original,
of the show.
the original content in both seasons, I think, are like the best
That's
parts of the
which
show.
Alright, I think we should get into our
Positives?
episode ranking.
Oh, okay, episode.
So, least favorite to most favorite,
Okay.
justify where we...
Okay.
Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first. Do you know?
Yeah, I know.
Okay,
Alright, so sorry about that cut. We're going to go into episode rankings now. So, from our least favorite to most favorite, we'll justify where we think we need to, and if we disagree on things, then we can, get into it. But my least favorite episode of season 2 definitely has to go to episode 3, which is the episode right after Joel dies. My main reason why this is my least favorite episode, and sorry, timer went off. My main reason why this is my least favorite episode, and it's because, in my opinion, all of the problems with the Seattle stuff starts with them choosing to do a 3-month time jump, which I don't know if you... I know when it first came out, you weren't too iffy on the time jump.
I thought that they would justify it in the end, and I don't think they did.
So 3-month time jump, don't like it at all. I understand that, Ellie was injured and she needed time to physically recover, but
then just don't injure her.
Don't injure her.
Because then she doesn't have that issue. She can
and then
also...
everything else in episode 3, having her explicitly state the whole, not the whole, but one of the very big takeaways
her arc.
of the story, her whole character arc, which she only comes to realize at the very last moment in the games. Just having her say, and obviously she doesn't believe it.
Yeah,
she's just saying it to get out of it.
So I guess you could say that she's saying that at the start, and she'll actually understand it at the end. But
I can see them maybe doing whenever they do get to her completing her arc, literally have her say the exact same word for word thing, but meaning it and seeing. I definitely think Bella Ramsey could do that.
But the thing is, that happens in the game, but they never say that. You just see that happening in her.
I don't want anyone to give me that but it's easier to be subtle in a video game, because it's not.
No, it's not.
Subtle video games are notoriously not that subtle. It's
not,
only recently that games are trying to be more like TV and movies with their storytelling. And I also don't like the whole council vote thing. Ellie didn't need to ask for permission. She made... I'm gonna forget the character's name.
Seth?
No, what's Tommy's wife's name?
Maria.
She told Maria, I'm going.
Yeah.
Right? In the game?
In the game,
She's like, I'm going, whether you like it or not. Maria was like, I know you're going.
So I'm gonna give you
gonna give you stuff to go.
Yeah. I don't hate the idea of a council, because it's showing that Jackson as a community, how they're reeling from this attack.
That's fair.
And they've been attacked by raiders before, but this is a brutal execution of a member that
this is
everyone knew.
Attack.
So I understand
as well with the community being attacked by the war.
So that's something that I think works in a show, right? Because they're exploring the community more than they can in the game, because in the game you have to have gameplay at a regular pace or the player will get bored, right?
Yeah.
But the where I disagree is the fact that Ellie, the 3 months is what annoys me. I think Ellie should have been gone within 3 days. I agree that the council probably should have happened. I don't think Tommy should have been in the council.
This is also where they decided that Tommy isn't going to Seattle.
That's the thing. Tommy, if that council did happen...
They gave Seth a more important role in avenging Joel than Tommy.
Tommy should have been having... No, well, first of all, Ellie should have been having that speech. That speech that she makes, where she writes it down in, felt so weird. Ellie doesn't write like that. Well, she writes her songs and stuff. She doesn't know how to express herself through writing, but
Yeah.
not in that way. I feel like Joel's death was so like much of an impact on her that she wouldn't bother like sugarcoating her thoughts. She would just be saying, "Fuck you if you don't want to help.
Yeah.
But this is a thing that's happened. I'm going, whether any of you like it or not." She would just be. It would be her against the whole of Jackson if it had to be.
Yeah.
Tommy, I feel like would be the same way. Maybe a little bit more like discreet about it.
Yeah.
Like he is in the game.
And the game
But
just dips.
He should have just
doesn't
dipped.
even tell Maria.
Yeah, I just hate the and yeah, I know like
He's got a son.
he's got a
now,
son and he's got responsibilities to Jackson, right?
Yeah.
But
They made those choices.
yeah, and Tommy in the game has those same responsibilities, but it still that still doesn't change the fact that he loses himself in the quest for vengeance. Like if you look at him at the end of the game, he is like shell of what he used to be. He's scarred. He's got a limp. He starts like berating Ali for not going to get revenge because he can't anymore. Like if you're gonna have Tommy go down this dark path, why are you making him so like responsible at the start?
Exactly.
You
Well,
know?
because it seems like they don't want him to go. down
Yeah,
that
which
path,
we don't know yet,
but
but
need the third
if they
season
do.
to see if he even did anything in those
Yeah.
2 days they were looking for Ellie and Dina.
Mm.
But at this point in time, it doesn't seem like Tommy. Like, the one thing I did like from episode. Oh, not the one thing. Like, I didn't sit there hating the fucking thing. But like, one of the main things that I was like, okay, I actually did like that was the scene between Ellie and Tommy,
Yeah.
where she was saying if it had been me or you who died, Joel would have been halfway to Jackson. I don't like that Tommy said no, he wouldn't
Yeah.
for these reasons because the show hasn't set that up with
No.
Joel. We know that Joel's a bit different in the show, but he hasn't been set up. Like maybe if there was something in season 1 where they were talking just Tommy and Joel at Jackson, he was talking about them in the past, and they mentioned something like Joel doing that in the past and not going,
Yeah.
then it would have made more sense. But I feel like the way that the characters have been set up, it doesn't make sense for Tommy to say he wouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
I very much liked when he don't talk to me like I don't know my own brother
Yeah.
or whatever he said. Like with that, I liked that line, and I think that the actor that plays Tommy, I'm forgetting his name, Gabriel Luna. Is that his
Yeah,
name?
Gabriel Luna.
I think that was really good delivery. I think he did a great job this season. Just quickly on him, he did a great job, like acting wise.
I really like him as Tommy. I
Yeah.
think his voice
He
is
was
very close.
He
to how
wasn't
Tommy
in
sounds.
season 1 that much. I did like him in season 1. Season 2, he's really up there, like in terms of performances and character wise. All right, so episode 3 at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna rapid fire now because they're not really contentious for the next
No.
ones. Episode 3 at the bottom. Then we've got episode 5. No, sorry, I'm gonna put the finale at place 6. So episode 3, then episode 7, then episode 5. Then I'm gonna go. That's 3, 7, 5, and then I'm gonna go episode 2. Episode 1, episode 6, and then my favorite episode was episode 4, which I know a lot of people, that's the one where I'm gonna be a dad. That's that episode.
Yeah, no.
A lot of people don't like that episode. I can't even tell you why it's at the top. All I know is that I remember having the most positive experience watching that episode. I guess I just really liked, that was day 1.
That was day 1.
And obviously they changed up day 1
A lot.
a lot, but I liked the sequence with Dina stuck in the cave. Was that was episode 4, right? Or maybe it
No.
wasn't.
That
No,
was
sorry, no. I liked the subway station
Subway station with
chase.
the infected.
And when
That's another positive. The infected this
infected
season
were-
have done amazing.
when Ellie bam,
Yeah.
to block the bite with her
that was
own
sick.
arm,
That was sick.
like that's something Ellie would do.
Yeah, exactly.
They have these great character moments
Uh-huh.
sprinkled throughout,
Yeah.
which are on their own really, really good. I really like that. I really like Ellie and Dina's relationship in the show. The game is better. Sorry to bring up the game. As a relationship in the show, I think episode 1, the dance and Dina saying the lines like you don't know like how jealous they should. What did she say?
Maybe
You have no
they
idea.
should be. Maybe they should be jealous. Maybe they're jealous of
Maybe
you.
she's like you have no
and then,
idea.
And then she's
So,
like,
whatever. Anyways, whatever happens in the first episode at the dance, I was giggling when that shit was happening. I feel the chemistry between Bella Ramsey and Isabella Merced. I think they do have great chemistry. I think the writing with the relationship could have been done a lot better. We'll get into this more when we talk about Joel's death scene, but having the Dina be there instead of Tommy. Literally, the only thing that added was having them find out that it was Joel actually be
Through
like
Dina.
a natural thing
Yeah.
instead of
rather than just
I'm
introducing.
Tommy, I'm Joel.
But then again, that feels like them sanitizing the story,
The
because
story.
they're answering the criticism of, oh,
Why would
Joel
we
and
say
Tommy
that?
would
As if
never
he-
introduce.
that it hasn't been 4 years.
Yeah, and
he's
like I would
changed.
imagine that protocol is that you introduce yourself to these survivors, so you
can
show them you're not a
show
threat.
a good bond. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, but yeah, I really liked episode 4. I really like Dina and Ellie's relationship, and I feel like their best moments are in that episode.
Yeah.
Episode 4 does have some really negative things as well, like Ellie's reaction to Dina being pregnant
Oh,
is not
so stupid.
not what it should be, but again, I relate that all to the 3-month time jump. Like,
I guess.
I mean, not because like what I was saying, and I've spoken about this before. It should feel like Joel is always in the back of her mind. It should feel like he should be haunting the narrative,
Exactly.
and he's not in the show. He's really not.
Yeah.
And it only feels like they want her rage and sadness and all of her negative emotions towards this whole situation. It feels like they only want those to come out when they want them to come out.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like they're always there.
Right.
And I know with a game, sorry to cut you off.
No, it's okay.
I know with a game, it is easier because you have more time to breathe with you have hours
Yeah.
in day one just walking around, hearing the little comments she makes,
Mm-hmm.
her journal, being able to read her diary,
Yeah.
being able to read her diary and see the things she's written about Joel,
Mhm.
the poems, the songs,
The drawings
the
of his
drawings
face
of
with
his
his
face,
eyes scroll,
like-
scratched out.
obviously you can't like
You can't
could-
live with the characters like you can in a game.
yeah, which
But even
is-
then,
they still could have done it.
yeah, like even in the cutscenes, in every single cutscene in Seattle Day 1, 2, and 3 for Ali, it always feels like that it's like her rage is just at the surface. Anything that threatens her determination to get Abby, it comes out a little bit. So when Dina admits that she's pregnant, immediately Ali isn't like, oh no, you're pregnant, we should take you back. Instantly she's like, well fuck, how is this going to jeopardize my mission? You're a burden now. Even in when Ali's leaving, I think to get Nora, Dina says something that's like even a little bit doubtful of what Ali's doing, and she snaps a little bit. Like it should always feel like she's on edge constantly, because she is. She's like plagued by these images of Joel, things like that. So having Ali not react that way, it feels wrong to me. It feels like that Joel's death maybe hasn't had much of an impact on her in this show than it does in the game.
Yeah, which just that's the whole point of the story.
Exactly.
It's- People like to say, oh, like the second game, like people who are stupid and think that Joel's the main character of the Last of Us series, they go, it's so shit, Joel shouldn't have died, now the game's got nothing to do with Joel, I'm not gonna play it. The whole fucking game is about Joel.
Yeah.
It's all about their relationship. Just
Uh-huh.
because he's not alive doesn't
Yeah.
mean that it's not about them.
Even with Abby's,
all about
even
them.
Abby's days, Joel's spirit is in that because Abby is going through the same
Same
journey
arc
that Joel went
through in the
So
first
it's
game.
like, as Abby is growing a bond with these kids, she, like, subconsciously, they never state. I am so sure that in season 3, Abby's gonna say something like, "Oh, I understand what Joel felt like now," because that's the type of shit that they would do. But in the game, it's always subconscious. It's just in the text that Abby, like, slowly starts to understand why Joel did what he did.
Oh my
And-
god, they're gonna have something in season 3. Like, you know, Abby Day 3, where
Yeah.
they're in the Seraph, she's gonna say something, I'm gonna kill every last one.
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
just gonna say
Yeah,
what
yeah.
Joel says.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's so stupid. I'm already predicting that, but
I literally said that before season 2 came out, guaranteed he's gonna say I love you.
yeah.
I told you that in the car.
Which,
But they did it in a better way than I thought they were going to.
look,
We'll get to that.
Yeah, okay,
we'll get to that.
okay,
We'll get to
okay,
that.
okay.
The only other thing I'll say about episode 4 that I didn't like, and we spoke about this earlier today. Why are the scars being introduced walking down a path? Why are the scars being introduced in the most like, oh, look at us kind of way? Like keeping the scars a mystery until day 2 is amazing.
It was so anticlimactic in the show.
Yeah, it's like you know that they're there.
And also,
And it's like they just get slaughtered. It immediately paints
as a victim.
the WLF as the bad guys.
And Seraph as the victim.
You
which is
shouldn't
not how
be
it
doing
is.
that. It's a pretty equal. Like obviously, if you read the in the game, you read the notes and stuff. You get a bit more history about it.
Yeah,
But
of
it's
course.
not like cookie cutter. These are in the
No.
wrong. These are in the right.
Seattle
we don't know
is
who
a
broke the
hostile
truce.
city. Both sides are hostile.
Yeah.
Both sides kill innocent people.
Kill children.
Yeah, like the Seraphites should not be being introduced as people getting massacred because it sets up the WLF as a threat, but it does nothing for the Seraphites. The way the game does it is you meet the wolves, they're very hostile.
Always talking about the scars.
You set them up. Yeah, exactly. And then as you get to the TV station, you see these people strung up with their guts out. And then you see one of the people that you're chasing from Abby's group dead with arrows, riddled with arrows. And you're thinking, who the fuck did this? Maybe it's Tommy, but you don't know. And then day 2, you're walking alone in the forest, you hear whistles, and then you just get fucking jump scared by an arrow. And that's your introduction to the Seraphites. That's so much more fucking, like, saucy. You know what I mean? Like, I can't understand the reasoning why they would not do that.
It immediately has you, like, hooked on the Seraphites.
You know what? We were talking earlier today about Dina's arrow thing being stupid. Like, why would that do that? Imagine how much more impactful that would have been if that's the first time you meet the Seraphites.
Yeah, that would have made sense.
Yeah.
Because it's like they're taking Ellie's interaction with him from...
because it's a game.
Yeah, you rip it out. Can't do that in
show.
real life. So it makes more sense that it hits Dina.
Dina, yeah.
So that's a really great idea.
Yeah.
They could have had the Seraphites be introduced... Because what was I going to say? I was going to say something about, like... But then you have to remove the Isaac scenes. And Isaac is my number one positive of this
Yes, because
season.
that's the difference between the show and the game. In the game, you're always in Ali's shoes, whereas the show, you're not. You can jump around. But I still feel like they could have done it.
I mean, no, because it would have been... They could have still done it, because if you only see the scars... Because you only see one with Isaac. And he's tied up in his...
You could switch the scenes around.
Yeah, or you could literally just be like, oh, like, the scars are such weak little pussy bitches. And then
you see
out
how
of nowhere,
strong they are. Yeah.
Bang! Overrun.
Yeah.
That's actually a really good point. That could have worked.
And then you're caught on both sides. It's this feeling of like you were in the middle of a war between these two factions that you know nothing about. And still, it also complements Ali's character because you see how fucking determined she is to kill Abby because she doesn't care. And not only does she care about herself, she's endangering Dina and Jesse eventually. But the show just seems to fundamentally get the feeling of the game wrong. That's the biggest annoying thing.
Isaac episode 4? Is that when you first see him, or is Isaac episode 5?
I wouldn't remember. I think episode 5.
Think episode 5?
Yeah, that's the one where Jesse saves them, right? From the stalkers? Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure, but...
Either way,
that scene is one of the highlights of season 2. Because it's original, so they can't fucking fuck up source material. And it's actually written well. Like, it builds up Isaac as, like, not a villain, but, like,
the antagonist.
Someone to be intimidated by.
Yeah. Intimidation.
Which would have been so cool, because season 3, you see a more caring side of Isaac, because Abby's obviously close to Isaac.
And it's like in the... I'm not going to bring up the game. You tell your episode ranking.
Okay, so episode 3 at number 7. Episode 3 at number 7. Yeah, I don't like that episode anymore. When I first watched it, it was fine, but now that the season is finished, that episode feels like it just fucking puts a damper on the pacing, and like honestly, kind of is the turning point for the show going downhill, in my opinion. Maybe episode 4 would be at 6th place.
Okay.
I just feel like that wasn't a very, like, it didn't move the story along enough, in my opinion. And when it did, it wasn't doing it in a way that felt earned, or it felt like it was deviating from the game in a bad way. Episode 1, I would put at number 5.
Okay.
Sorry, no, I take it back. Episode 7, number 5. Episode 7, I think, has one of the best visuals out of the episodes. Like when Ali's on the boat, like driving towards the marina and like lightning and everything. It has one of the dumbest scenes I've ever seen, where Ali just gets strung up by scars for no reason, and then they leave her.
We'll do our finale discussion.
Yeah. Okay. And then, am I on 5th place? No, 4th place.
Yeah, 4th.
4th place, I would put episode 5, right? That's where she meets Jesse and stuff, right?
Yeah, didn't you already say it?
I think I put episode 4.
I've
done 3, 4.
Yes. So
3, 4, 7. Episode 5, 4th. Because it was a decent episode. I liked the stalker stuff. Ali and Dina were joking too much. They portrayed Ali as dumb in that episode, in the whole season, which I just find so, like, weird. But we'll get into that later. At third place, I would put episode 2.
Yeah.
I really like episode 2. I think that
More than you like episode 1?
no. I put episode 1. Did I put episode 1?
Yeah, I said episode 1.
Okay, I take it back. I put episode 1, then episode 2. I really like episode 2. That whole infected attack on Jackson is fucking like amazing. Like that was like probably the only like episode where I was like proper like enthralled in this thing. It was like because there's not a lot of action in the show, right? So yeah, that was like
At
really
least there
cool.
hadn't been up to
Yeah,
that point.
that episode makes me excited for season 3 because obviously season 3 I feel like that it should have a lot more action considering that it's about this war and things like that.
Just quickly on the action, would you agree that, like, especially with season 2, every action set piece with the infected is fucking phenomenal?
Sick.
I haven't enjoyed a single action set piece when it's human on human.
No, because there's not really enough to know, but like, well, that's another thing. Ali kills like 3 people in this fucking season, which is like a war crime because Ali should be
killing so many
people. Obviously,
they removed
it's a
the
show.
whole character.
Yeah. It's a show, so like you can't have her be killing hundreds like she does in the game because that's not believable.
Yeah.
But Joel kills plenty of people in the show. I don't see how you can't do that to Ali as well. Like have her be getting further down this path by being more violent.
Yeah.
Why did they cut out Jordan's character? When she knifes him in the neck in the game at the start of day 1, that's like the catalyst for like she's starting to get the bloodthirst. She's taking joy in the killing.
Look, I don't know if it was Neil Druckmann and Craig Mazin who picked 7 episodes, or if Max only wanted them to do 7 episodes. I feel like having 7 episodes really cut them at the knees. Like they should have, because season 1 was 9 episodes or 10.
It was 9.
9. Like another 2 episodes means you can have 2 episodes on day 1, 2 episodes on day 2, and have day 3 be that gut punch that it, because day 3 is the shortest day in the game as well.
Yeah.
Like, so day 3 could be 1 episode. Then if you have 2 extra episodes, that means you have 2 episodes for day 1 and day 2. You can have Jordan be a part of the story. You can have Shimmer die, which they haven't killed Shimmer, which I don't.
And Ellie doesn't kill Alice.
Yeah.
Apparently, the dog that she kills in the marina, she never kills. So I'm assuming that she's alive, which is like that to me,
or doesn't exist.
Yeah, which shows like they're taking more. They're taking less risks. Sorry, with this show, like they're not being as brutal as the game is, which feels very wrong for the universe that The Last of Us is, because it's very unforgiving. Joel's death is a prime example. I don't really understand why they do it like that, but you know,
So your episode 6 is your number 1?
Episode 6 is my number 1, purely because I think it has the best writing in the episode. In the season. Only episode written by Anne Hallie Gross, who co-wrote part 2.
Did she?
She's very good. That episode, I just think, even though I dislike its placement in the show as a whole, like I feel like it's very disjointed to just have this one random episode with all of the flashbacks, but if you take all that away and you just see it as a singular episode, it works the best in my opinion.
It's
having
very good.
Having the episode be broken up by Ellie's birthdays, like every section is her birthday.
Great writing.
Yeah, Joel's characterization is so good, like how with the birthday cake, he forgot it with Sarah. Never forgot it again with Ellie.
The fucking scene with him and what's the guy's name? Eugene.
Played by Joey Pantoliano from The Sopranos.
That was great. You thought there was going to be something more with Eugene. You thought he was going to know Joel's secret. I said, no, he probably just got infected.
Because I don't even think they set up that he's a Firefly in the show. Maybe he's not. But in the game, he's a Firefly. He ran with Tommy. So, yeah, I don't know.
And the whole thing with, like, Ellie's way of finding out that Joel lied to her is because he had the same look on his face when he lied to her about not going to kill Eugene.
Which could work as a line, but I don't think that should also be like the whole moment she finds out. You know what I mean?
Way that she knows.
Yes.
So much. Like I really like it was really sad. Like the last time that they ever hugged was when he grabbed her at the hospital,
and she pushed him away.
She pushes him away.
Yeah,
and they have that confrontation, and then they literally have like no communication
for like I think it's 2 years.
Very long.
So
time.
like And then, but whereas in the show, it's 9 months first of all, and they have the conversation about the Fireflies the night before he dies, and she forgives him like immediately,
We'll talk
or
about
tries to forgive him. We'll get to that later. But
so that's done with your ranking.
yeah,
All right. Well, we've sort of been talking about positives and negatives the whole time. I was
Yeah.
going to say we'll touch on that, but we'll quickly. Like I said, my biggest positive was Isaac. I really Jeffrey Wright, fucking phenomenal. Isaac, all of the pan scene and the monologue he gave about the pan, that was amazing. Really liked Isaac.
even in the finale, the scene where his
Yeah,
commander
he's talking about
how he wanted Abby to be
the
next.
replacement.
Yeah. Like
He's just great. Like
the
opening
truck
scene, the
scene.
truck.
Yeah,
Like,
that was.
it's
fucking
all
sick.
just good. Like
Yeah.
it's really good. I really like obviously the production design, costuming for the scars and the wolves.
Yes, see,
are
they
great.
look good. Yeah.
What else? This season specifically got me over the line on Bella Ramsey can fucking act.
She
Like,
can act. Yeah. Of
the
course.
porch scene,
Oh yeah. When
there's-
she's yelling at Jesse in the finale, I
yeah,
mean,
in the finale,
things about it, but
like
good acting.
when it comes to the serious, like you need to get these beats right. Bella Ramsey gets it
Yeah.
every single time.
Yeah.
So there's no doubt in me that they can't act. So that's another positive. All the performances were great.
Yeah.
Not just Jeffrey Wright Isaac. He was just my favorite because you don't get a lot of Isaac in the game.
Nah, you don't.
And we've already gotten like the same amount of time with Isaac that you get in the game in the show,
Yeah.
and I'm just happy to get more Isaac because I
Yeah.
really liked Isaac as a character.
Jesse, I do really like Jesse in the show. The way
I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that
his
one.
relationship with Ali, I dislike. But like in terms of like acting and like the way he talks and everything, I see that as Jesse. I
Yeah,
like
fair.
his portrayal. I don't like the way he's written, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it
Like-
feels like it's a different version of Jesse.
Yeah.
And it's one that it doesn't feel like we keep talking about essence. I'd say this Jesse, in spirit, has like the physical essence of Jesse, but like deep down doesn't feel like the same Jesse.
Yeah, no, I can agree with that, I think.
When you're making an adaptation,
It should
you
have
want
right?
to keep the essence.
Yeah.
Let me think of any other. Can you think of any other positives of the really obvious ones? Obviously, the action set pieces were great.
Yeah. The set design was fucking incredible.
Yeah.
Like the museum scene with Joel and Ellie was crazy.
Great special
The forge
effects.
scene.
Real quick on that like museum scene, what was she looking at, Ellie? When the very end of when they're walking off,
Yeah,
and she stops.
I
And she
don't know.
turns and just stares. I
Yeah,
thought
nothing.
it was gonna be the liars.
Yeah,
thing. But she's just staring into the woods.
fucking water.
What is she looking
I
at?
don't know,
I don't know what
annoyed
she
me.
was looking
I
at.
was waiting for the. I
I was
rewinded
like,
back.
it's just did
I-
they forget to
like,
put
I
special
don't know.
effects in
There's
or
also, I
something?
don't know if you've seen this. When they're riding a horse later in the episode, you can see just a guy in the background.
Can you?
He's just sitting there in the bushes. It's so fucking funny.
I have not
He's just
seen
in
that.
this flannel. The horses are riding by, and he's just sitting there. Fucking.
Yeah, that's just like I don't know what Ellie.
Yeah,
was looking at,
I don't know what
Um,
oh my god,
positives.
it's hard to think of them.
like specific ones. Obviously, there's.
Dina is hot.
Are you allowed to say that?
I think so.
Okay.
I mean, am I wrong? Am I lying? I don't think so.
No comment. Hey, the scene where Dina gets finger
Yeah,
yeah, we tried that.
Yeah.
Cut that.
That
out.
was no, I don't think we should.
No?
That was
Okay.
I mean, it's part of the show, so we gotta.
You're
critique
right,
it, you
you're
know?
right.
We have to.
Well, no, actually, this is actually a proper. They were trying to hype it up so like it's
Yeah.
gonna be way more sexual.
Like
than it
I
is in the
was
game.
just watching it, like okay,
That's
happening.
literally like I see worse on Instagram
Yeah.
Reels.
If
so-
anything, it felt weird watching Bella Ramsey do that because like they look so young to me. And, like, I
Yeah.
still remember Bella as like a 14. Well, she wasn't 14 at the time.
But yeah, but
But-
Bella does look
yeah.
young.
Yeah, but
They
you know.
both do, but it's like it's fine. And then just quickly on that, this is a comparison to the game, so shoot me. But it's the 6 rating the kiss a 6 was like, what would you rate the kiss? And it was like a 6. In the game,
Yes, that is an intent.
that
in the show.
scene is really charismatic.
Yeah.
Really flirty.
Did they ever smoke weed in the show?
Don't think so.
Ellie does with Kat, her ex, in that flashback. But like you don't.
That doesn't count.
Ah.
In the game, because that happens before Joel's dead.
Yeah.
Which it happens after Joel's
the
dead,
thing.
which is just another thing of me saying like it doesn't feel like he's in her mind
No.
constantly
Yeah.
because she's able to have these snarky sarcastic,
Mhm.
upbeat, funny, like I'm gonna be a dad, like
Yeah.
moments. Like at its core, I think that's a good line. I'm gonna be a dad.
Yeah, especially after episode 6 because it
Yeah.
recontextualizes. Because Joel is like, when you have one,
Of
I
your
will do a
own,
better
hopefully
job
you'll
than
do a
me.
better job.
I do like that, but
It doesn't make sense. Like
it shouldn't have come at that moment. It
Yeah.
should have been so
that
in
whole
the
moment
game.
is just
She gets mad at her,
Not
and then the
proper.
morning after she apologizes, right? That I'm a dad thing should have come in the morning after, because I can see Ali in the game and in the show trying to make a joke to alleviate like the tension between them. That
Yeah.
would make sense to me.
yeah,
But in the show, it's like, oh my god, you're pregnant. Well, I'm gonna be a dad. That's it. No, stupid.
happy, not
Yeah,
stressed like at all.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
even the fucking when Ellie gets infected and Dina like holds her at gunpoint for like the whole night. That was
I
cool.
liked it.
Yeah, but I did some. See, I mean, obviously, the spores aren't really in the show that much, so you can't have this.
Yeah, I swear there were like interview clips or tweets that they made saying like, trust us, the spores are being introduced like
It's
in
in like one
big
episode,
way.
but it is cool. Like,
It is.
like the unit being like, it's in the air
It's
now,
in
and
the
they
air.
have to fucking block it up. Like that's like scary. Like that's like biological horror almost. Like the cordyceps like evolving, and they show that with the stalkers as well. But I think having that, you trade off the characterization of Dina, where she sees Ali breathing spores and she goes to take off the mask to give it to Ali. Like she would willingly sacrifice her life for Ali,
knowing
not
she's
even
pregnant.
thinking straight, right? So like, it's I feel like the trade off is not really worth it, but you know, it's something you just kind of have to accept.
Yeah, I
But
guess so.
the gunpoint scene is still really good because you can see how fucked up Dina is over
The
there.
acting of that scene is really
Yeah.
great too.
And that is the catalyst for them getting together, because like at the point where she thinks that she's about to lose Ali and she realizes she's not going to lose Ali, she's like, okay, I'm not going to hide behind this wall anymore. I'm just going to, you know, get finger banged. But you know, that's fine.
All right, let's move on to the contentious points that we
Yes.
wanted to speak about. Joel's death in the show.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just like briefly, I don't like it. You do like it.
I'm going to...
Likes it.
It goes without saying, I think everything in the game is done better, but Joel's
Except
death...
finger banging.
Yeah, well, you know. Joel's death in the show, I would go as far as to say I don't like it, but I can see good parts about it, right?
Okay.
So things I don't like that Joel is like, he almost feels rigid in that scene, like he's like got his hands up and he's not speaking, and his last line isn't as impactful as the game. Like when he
Feels
gets
like cat's got your tongue.
yeah, like
Gotcha. Like
I do like. Well, no, okay, we won't get to that yet. In the game, Joel, when he gets his fucking like leg blown off, and then his final line is, "Why don't you say whatever speech you've got rehearsed and get this over with?" That's just Joel. Like he looks around, acknowledges, "Well, I'm fucked. I'm gonna die." So he just says that to Abby, and then that prompts him getting tortured because he's not giving Abby any inch. Like he's staying himself.
yeah.
In that moment, he's like, I understand I've done a lot of bad things, but I got Ellie, I saved her, worth it in the end, we'll do it all over again. And then he greets death with like stoicism is the word.
Yeah.
In the show, you can, it's almost like Joel isn't stoic, he's understanding because Abby has her speech. In the game, Joel cuts off her speech. In the show, Abby gets to have her speech, which whether or not that's better or not, I don't really know. I mean, no, I think the game does it better because Abby doesn't get to have the speech. It's like, in getting revenge, everything about it is like unsatisfactory.
And it just makes you so much angrier.
Yeah, and it makes Abby
giving-
angrier.
Giving Abby the speech just gives the audience an avenue to start sympathizing with her earlier, which I can understand why they don't want to make you wait years before you start getting to know Abby. But I feel like everyone still hates her.
Everyone,
regardless.
yeah, probably.
Like, telling us that it was her dad that he killed doesn't make it less like hard on an audience, especially if it's an audience that never played the game, doesn't know anything.
But I do like the nod that Joel gives her, like he's almost giving her permission to do what she has to do because he understands. But look, I would forgive Abby telling Joel like that whole speech if Allie never finds out about Abby's dad being killed by Joel.
Yeah.
I think she should never have found that out because in the game, that's not the point. The point is that she needs to let go of hatred at herself. It's not about Abby. Obviously, it's a little bit, but like it doesn't matter what Abby's reasonings were.
Abby's the mask.
All that matters is Abby took Joel away from Ellie, and she hates herself for not capitalizing on the time that she could have spent with him.
Yeah.
So she takes that out on other people, and she uses the only thing she knows, which is violence. She's learned that from Joel, from the world. And in the show, she just knows already, and it's like, why? It doesn't feel like it has a point. Maybe in season 3 they'll touch on it, but I just think it's better when she doesn't know, in my opinion.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Like, at this point, there doesn't really seem to be a reason, and we'll get to a whole like discussion on the finale soon, but having her tell Dina while she's being washed, oh, he killed Abby's dad.
Yeah.
And then sort of have a moment where she's like, is it wrong what I'm doing? Like, Ellie shouldn't be having, in my opinion, obviously I didn't create this character, I didn't create this story, but as a fan of it, I feel like she shouldn't be. Even the way she's been set up in the show, she shouldn't be having second thoughts.
Yeah.
Because they go out of their way to do this 3-month time jump and then say, even with 3 months, she still wants to go out and get revenge. And then while she's getting her revenge, she starts to slowly go, oh, I shouldn't be doing this. That's not at all what should be happening.
But then I ask, what revenge is she getting in this show? She doesn't kill any of her people except
Nora,
Mel
who's
and
going to die anyway,
and Nora.
and then that was an accident.
Yeah.
Mel was an accident. So it's really just Omen.
Oh my god, wait, we're going to talk about the finale.
Joel's death. I think it's too long.
Yeah, I can see that.
It
I
went
like the
like
abruptness.
15 minutes.
The biggest fucking war crime is that they take away the one shot. When they all get into the thing and it's one shot, the way that builds the tension in the game is so fucking good, especially if you don't know what's about to happen. In the show, it's like so anticlimactic. They just like they hear his name and then they just like awkwardly put everyone at gunpoint. Like, what the fuck? Why?
Ramsey's performance in that scene was very good. I'll touch on that again.
Yeah,
great performance. The screaming was. I think the like get up, Joel, fucking get up. Like that wasn't as good.
Yeah,
but it's like it's Ashley Johnson. Like, you're not gonna capture it.
And I can respect that she's not trying to replicate it. She's doing her own thing.
The screaming was great. Like I thought she had a really good. Sorry, they had a really good screaming.
Yeah,
voice.
I think so too. But there was something about Ashley Johnson's like there's like a primal like rage in her like when like because she's not screaming, she's fucking like she's growling the words out. Like it's like every inch of her body is saying these words that. Like I feel like that's almost more impactful than the screaming, but again, like you said, I do think that the line is good in the show as well.
And then I'm trying to remember more of the death scene. They get rid of the spit.
Yeah,
they get rid of
Danny's spitting, which is stupid.
Manny's spit.
What do you think about Joel getting stabbed in the neck rather than getting just fucking pummeled?
The golf club on the head.
Yeah,
like, feels more intimate.
Yeah,
it feels more like like you can really feel the person.
She has to get on her knees and fucking stab it
down to his level.
And also, it shows like just how fucking hard she was hitting him. Like the golf club literally broke from hitting him. I do like that because realistically, a golf club probably would break if you're fucking beating someone to death,
even if it's metal.
Yeah.
When Ellie crawls to Joel and holds him.
Oh my god, Ashley Johnson singing Through the Valley. That was so good. Because it felt like Ellie's character from the game is like in that scene in like her spirit. Like she's like
Belle Ramsey does the singing really well.
Yeah, she does.
I'm trying to think what else happens to the death. I know I personally like you really are handsome. That's such a weird line. Like I like it. I know you can quickly explain.
I like it because it shows, it's a good characterization point for Abby because it shows that she has gotten like a 2-sentence description of the guy who killed her dad. And for 5 years, her saying that line is like, she's been obsessing over every single point because she's not just saying he's handsome, she's also listing like, you're probably 60 by now, you're like this tall, blah, blah, blah. She's listing out all the dot points that she has memorized in her head for 5 years. I like that because it shows just how obsessive this revenge thing can be. And her saying that he's handsome, she's not actually like fucking flirting with him.
Yeah.
She's like, it's almost like bitter, like, oh, you're handsome, you know?
Spiteful, like, she's trying to be conniving.
Yeah, and also that makes her beating him to death better because like she is like intentionally fucking up his face because like she's trying to ruin everything about him. Like all her rage is in that moment. Like she's literally screaming. that's another thing in the game. I think Abby's pretty silent. Like she's just grunting, but like in the show, Caitlyn Diva is like fucking like putting like rage into every hit.
Yeah.
That might actually be something I prefer about the show actually, but
That's fair.
yeah,
I think with the handsome thing, I do agree with those points. I just think the choice of it being you really are handsome and the way she delivers that line,
yeah,
I feel like it could have had the same effect. Have her bring up him being handsome in a different way, like have it like
because in the show, she's like chuckling when she says it.
yeah.
Which I guess you could
Even-
say it's like she's playing with her food, like she's like
Yeah, but-
enjoying this.
It's like Abby doesn't, at least to me, it feels like Abby isn't doing it because she enjoys it. Like, she doesn't enjoy beating this man to death because it's fun to her and she wants to, like, it's the revenge that's important to her. And she just knows that she has to take it this far for it to, in her opinion, fully satisfy her, which we know it doesn't from the game. Like, having her turn it into this like mind fuck game kind of thing. Like to me, it feels as if she wouldn't. But that that's fully based off
The game.
her in the game.
Whereas
What I'm saying right now is
this
fully
could be-
based off her in the
This
game.
could be like just a different
They could
scenario.
be setting up Abby in a different way, which I will recluse. Is that the word?
Rescind?
I'll rescind. Take it back. I take back the point I was
Yeah.
gonna make. That's fully based off context from the game, which this is clearly not the game. So-
Overall, game does it better, but I think it's possible. What's your overall?
It needed to be done.
Yeah, of course.
Game did it better. The switch, having Dina be there instead of Tommy, didn't really do anything.
Yeah.
The getting rid of is Andrew, is that his name?
Jordan.
Jordan. Getting rid
There's
of
a
Jordan.
few characters that get removed.
Yeah. I don't like Abby's crew doesn't feel as much of a crew in the show. Not only do they have less people, but they feel less intertwined. I think it went on for too long, but I do like it needed to happen. It could have been worse. Could have been better. Could have been worse.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
My main issue with it is just it took too long, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That's my main.
fair.
Like I feel like they dragged it out like more than it needed to have been dragged out. But everything else I really liked. Especially I really liked the part where the Abby was running from the infected.
Oh,
and
that was
its
so
hand
cool.
was cutting through the fence. I really liked that.
Yeah, that was so cool.
Next, we'll touch on the porch scene.
Yeah, because
From
we've already
episode
talked
6.
most about episode 6.
Yeah.
I think we overall liked the episode.
Yeah, it was
The
number
porch
2 for
scene,
me,
though.
number 1 for you.
Yeah.
And instantly, porch scene being this early in the story
Yes.
is the actual scene itself is great. I would say saying the game does the porch scene better, I wouldn't go as far to say that. I think that the scenes
Because the thing is though, they kind of merge
Yeah.
the end of Ellie's final flashback, like where Joel tells her the truth, and the porch scene. Like they kind of put it together, which is weird, but it works as a scene. You know,
the game has different pieces to build with
to
make that scene. The show choosing to do it now did the best it could, and I think it was good.
Yeah.
I won't say it's possible. I think the porch scene is done good.
Yeah. Especially as a compliment to the opening of episode 6.
Yes. Oh, the parallel is so good.
Like because in both scenes, the son or daughter is standing up to the father figure, and the father figure like crumbles and like just like opens up about what they actually are. You know.
And hopefully you do a little better than me.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
The impact of the porch scene in the game is completely different.
Yeah.
Because it comes at the last moment and it's your final piece as the player.
Yeah, it's like the final piece of the puzzle. Once you see that scene, everything clicks. You understand why Ellie was the way she was and why she let Abby live. All of that stuff, it all works, right? Whereas what I was going to say to you in the show, as someone who hasn't watched the show, hasn't played the game before, I'm not really sure what they would think about that porch scene.
For it
How
kind
would
of
it
feels
work?
like putting salt in the wound.
Yeah, exactly. It's
just
making you more
Abby
sad.
more.
Yeah, which is weird, right?
And they
also-
could have easily done all the flashbacks without the porch scene.
Yeah.
And obviously, like, it cuts away before we see Joel's reply, so there is still...
Yeah, I was telling you my theory that in the final, that we will get a porch scene at the end of the story,
It's
like
gonna
whether
be
it be season 3 or
extension,
4, but it's going to be an extension of the porch scene where something else is said that adds greater weight to the story. At least I hope. Fucking knowing the show, maybe this flashback it will go back to that porch scene and Joel will be like, oh, by the way, Ali, revenge is really bad. You shouldn't do it. Maybe. I don't know. With the show so far, maybe that's how it will be.
If someone named Abby comes to kill me, you
shouldn't go. Yeah.
No.
Fucking, he literally doesn't he say like, oh no, that's talking about him, Ali hating him. But yeah, okay, alright, let's get to the real fucking, the thing that I'm so conflicted by.
I
I
love
love you. What do you think about that being there?
I, like, with all the criticisms that I've given the writing and the season and how they throw subtlety out the window, and it's like, this is the most unsubtle they can be. The fact that he says, I love you.
Yeah.
There's something just about my own, like, human nature that just clings onto that, where it's like, I don't care about any of that. Even thinking about it right now with all these criticisms, it's like I can't objectively say, why the fuck did you say
because
that?
the thing is, I'm happy that it's not in the game, because one, it makes it more painful that they never got to say that to each other, even though it was so obvious they both loved each other.
Let me put it this way. To me, it's like we can both agree we like the game more. The game's always going to be the better version of this story to us.
Yeah.
Having this story be already so different and have made changes that I'm not personally very happy with, it's like this, the I love you, because when I play the game, in the back of my mind, I'm like, please just tell her you love her.
Yeah.
But it's like the fact that they don't is what makes it such a powerful story.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is, it's like he says it without saying it. That's what I love about the game so much, is that it's so subtle, right? Joel saying, if somehow the Lord gave me a second chance at that moment, I would do it all over again.
Just
that's I love you with extra
quickly
steps.
on that. Something about the way Pedro Pascal delivered
That is good.
It's like he didn't.
I do it all over again. Like
he's like, I do it all over again.
Yeah, but that's it's like I said, Joel is stoic about it. He okay. First, I mean, we're not talking about the game like fully, but in that scene, they never make eye contact until that moment. So they're always either Joel's looking at Ali and she's looking away, or Ali will look at Joel and he will look away. Or sometimes they like meet, but like it's always like they're averting their eyes from each other, right?
Yeah.
In the second that Joel says, "I would do it all over again," he stands up straight and stares dead at her, and that's the first time they make eye contact, which is like, Joel has never been more truthful, and that's another thing. Oh god. So Ali has, the whole reason the relationship broke apart was because Joel was deceptive. He lied to her. This is the first time that Joel is being 100% truthful. He's just telling her exactly how he feels, and he's not shameful about it either. And that's why
he's proud of it. He's like,
I would do, the thing, it's not even a question to him. Of course he would do it all over again because he loves her.
Yeah.
Whereas in the show, it's not really necessarily a bad thing.
And it's like, Ali understands that in the game.
Yeah,
because he stands up straight, looks at dead in the eye, I do it all over again. There's no, because you're selfish.
Yeah, because
because I love you.
Yeah, because
she doesn't need that.
Yeah.
But again, there's just something about hearing it from them.
Yeah.
In the show that.
Yeah, I know. Because the thing is,
I really just, it makes me happy. Like,
yeah. And the thing is, Ali saying, I don't know if I can forgive you, but I would like to try it. That's her version of I love you. Because it's unconditional love. No matter how bad you hurt me, I will still love you. Shit like that, right? In the show, those lines are still there. They're just given extra stuff. I can't help but be happy about that I love you line though. Because like, as such a long time fan of the games, hearing Joel, even though it's a different Joel, hearing that is like, it just does something to me, you know?
It's like the highest quality of fan fiction.
Yeah.
It's like, because I mean, look,
it's full production.
I don't know if you have, but like I have like shit going on in my head all the time.
Yeah.
When I played The Last of Us, like there'd be a little fake cutscene in my head of one of them saying I love you just for a laugh to see how it would feel, and it's like we get that in the show, and we
do get it.
Like it's just. You can't help but... I mean, maybe there are people out there that fucking hate it. I can't sit here and say...
There's a part of me that does it, but I can't help but also love it as well. It's hard. It's very... honestly, I cannot think about this
Objectively, yeah.
Like I have too much of a
Like,
connection to these
if
characters.
the most objective thing I could say is the show's already made a point to get rid of the subtlety.
So
why bring
that's
it
a natural
back?
progression.
Like,
Yeah, that's fair. No, you know what? Yeah, that makes sense. So like when you completely
if that
disconnect
came
from the
out,
game,
if it was completely subtle
and then he says I love
bang,
you.
I probably still like it, to be honest. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's just nice to hear.
Yeah, no, it is. It
Pedro
is.
Pascal, the delivery
it's
of
so good.
all over again
Yeah.
is shit. The delivery of I love you
Mm.
fucking hit me.
Yeah,
I was so close to tearing up. Like
Yeah.
I was like, this is really good.
yeah, no, and then
Really good delivery.
that scene was really like the best acting in the show. I think was in that scene.
Yeah, that is like, I think Bella Ramsey's performance in that scene might be the best acting in the whole show.
Yeah,
Which the only thing I could compare it to, because like in the first season, the main like acting moment of the first game is the farmhouse scene. I'd say,
which I didn't like in the show.
or the David stuff
Yeah,
is a big part
yeah,
of acting. In the show, those moments don't feel
as good.
as good. The porch scene, the acting felt like I was glued. I was
It wasn't
this-
awkward. It wasn't like rigid. Like it felt like you were watching
Yeah.
two people, real
Just
people, have a conversation.
Yeah.
Which
So- and I would say, because nothing else has come to my mind. Yeah, I think Bella Ramsey's performance in that scene is the best performance in the whole show.
yeah.
Like,
I
obviously everyone else has really really good performances.
Oh yeah, no, I don't
Just-
think there's a bad performance in the show. I don't think,
No.
except for bless him, Tommy's son. But you know that he's a child. What can you do? You know, and he wasn't even that bad. You know, but yeah, overall, I think the porch scene works. I'm not gonna say I like it better in the game because that's I think I need to swear off that word now. But yeah, it was interesting.
It's too early to tell.
Yeah, exactly.
If they
I
do
want to wait and
nothing-
see.
With it, then
Yeah.
it's gonna go down in opinion. But we've got season 3, so we need to
Yeah,
wait.
exactly.
Finale.
Episode 7.
I didn't like it.
I hated it.
Yeah.
I was
Like-
so mad. I was fucking furious when I finished that. Like,
Alright.
it wasn't even that bad, like, as an episode. I just, like, all of the pieces just fell together in my
Let's
head.
go beat for beat. So the first scene is Jesse pushing out the arrow.
Yeah,
which-
which once again is stupid because Dina shouldn't have gone hit with the
Yeah,
arrow. Why?
but
Why did that happen?
Take it how it is. She did get hit with the arrow.
Yeah.
That scene serves as the clues for him finding out she's pregnant. That's
Yes,
fine.
because I do like that. The alcohol,
The alcohol
doesn't
said
makes
no.
it. Which,
That's-
yeah.
That's fine. All right. Second beat. Ellie coming back from killing Nora. The washing, undressing scene, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what people refer to it
That
as. but
might be the worst change so far.
It was really, really
So
jarring.
aggravating. Like the thing is, this is the problem, right? If you're telling a story about a character who's going down this path of revenge and like losing herself in the process, you need to show her one doing the bad things and two losing herself. You don't see any of that in the show. You see it in the game. The scene in the game, Ellie's covered in blood. She's shaken up like she can't stop
Literally
trembling.
can't stop shaking.
crying.
You can see it in her eyes. Like,
The care in Dina's voice when she's like taking care of her, whereas in the show, Ellie's like, oh, it was so like it was like so predictable. How many times have you heard in a show or a game, oh, it was so easy? Like I'm scared of how easy it was. Whereas in the game, all Ellie says is, I made her talk and she cannot finish because like she's so
Because it
fucking
wasn't
traumatized
easy.
by what she did.
like she has no
That's the
problem
point. She's not like Joel.
killing these wolves that
Yeah.
are attacked. Like those don't affect her. But the second it became personal and
Mhm.
intimate,
Yeah.
and she had to like look in the eyes of a person
Who's defenseless.
who's defenseless and just
beat her.
Beat
Well,
them
you never
to
see
death.
it. I like that you never see it because it makes it more worse in your head.
yeah.
But like the point is that
It looks so funny. It's
Yeah,
like,
okay.
like a quick match.
Yeah, oh, it's so
just slammed down on her body.
But the thing is, Ellie is not like Joel. Joel kills without emotion. Like he can just kill people without thinking. Like
Yeah.
I like that scene in the show in season 1 where his face is like stone cold when he's murdering everyone in the hospital, right?
You don't even see it. You
Ellie-
don't hear the shots. You just
Yeah.
see the gun.
Ellie
flash.
has Ellie is tied to emotion with her violence, right?
She's
Everything
very
she does is
emotional.
very
Her
So-
violence comes from love.
Yeah, exactly. So when she's killing Nora, it's like fucking her soul is being put out into that kill. So that's why she's so shredded when she comes back. In the show, it's just not like that at all, and I just can't understand why they would do that. Like, because then when you get to Santa Barbara eventually, when you get to the farm eventually, you see how Ellie has like kind of healed, but not really. But how
can
are they going to do
tell.
that in the show?
You can tell like she's still.
She's like on edge almost. She has a panic attack. Like Ellie is not. She's just fundamentally not the same character in the show.
And it's frustrating because the first season puts the pieces there to have her be different enough to justify the show existing.
Yeah.
But has the essence.
Mm-hmm.
Season 2, she doesn't naturally. That 3-month time jump fucks it all up.
So
like
weird.
And just even with the like, just the whole like visual storytelling of it, of her taking off all her clothes.
Yeah, she's like burying her soul.
Literally stripped down in front of Dina.
Yeah, and her body is covered in bruises, right?
Cuts and bruises,
like a deconstruction,
and dirt and dried blood, and
it's so
like,
good. It's so good in the game.
And the show just, it feels,
Hold
again,
on.
I'm pretty sure I brought this up earlier in the episode, but she says Joel killed her dad.
Yeah, she tells Dina.
She tells Dina everything. She says, she questions herself, is what I'm doing
Why
okay?
was she doing that?
Like, it doesn't, I just
doesn't
think
make any sense.
It's not great.
For me, that is like probably the worst change in the show because there's directly like opposing the arc that Ellie's meant to be on. I don't feel her arc at all in this season.
There is, the truth doesn't feel like
and then
she has an arc.
You could go on like when Jesse and Ellie are hiding from the wolves and the Seraphites and they're like attacking the kid. Ellie wants to help.
Save him.
Why would Ellie in the game, she does let them kill each other. She would be thinking, oh, okay, they're killing each other. I
Takes
can
it
go
as an
fuck off.
advantage.
Yeah.
Because she's not like, Ellie's not a white knight. Ellie's not a superhero.
No.
She's not a, I want to, like,
In the game,
she wants to, her purpose, that she
to
calls
save
it,
the world.
to save
She
the
want-
world.
yeah.
Obviously. So when I say she doesn't want to save the world, she very much does. But she doesn't want, she's not like a vigilante. Like, especially in Seattle.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
I like because in part 1 when Joel and Ellie have to watch hunters kill civilians, Ellie does say like, should we help them? I like that. That's something that Ellie would potentially do. Like she would want to help people, but losing Joel has made her lose that, and she can only think about Abby, right? She should not be wanting to save people in Seattle. That's my point.
especially, it's not even a kid.
No, it's
she
like a
says
teenager.
she says a line like he's just a kid.
Yeah.
They should have casted someone
Yeah,
younger
like a
because he
fucking
looked
kid.
like a grown,
Yeah.
bald man.
Yeah.
No
Like-
offense. No
like-
offense. Like he. And why did they strip him naked? Like,
I
what
don't
are
know-
the wolves
I
gonna
don't
do
know-
to him?
I don't know what they did to him. I don't know what they did to him.
I swear, in the fucking like game, they just pop him straight
they
down.
do, yeah.
What,
Because they don't know how.
they
Because the
don't-
thing is, Seraphites are quiet. They don't
Yeah.
know how many they are.
They
So
don't
you've gotta
like
be
to
careful.
revel in it.
Yeah.
Like,
And I don't mind showing them being reveling in it because like it's a
it
war.
characterizes them more as like.
But Ellie just should not have wanted to help the kid. I don't understand why that's a thing that she would have wanted. I understand as Ellie's character would have wanted to do that, but not at that moment. Because she's ruled by her survivor's guilt with Riley, with being the cure and losing that. Like she just constantly has the survivor's guilt of like she doesn't know what her purpose is in life anymore. And then when Joel dies, her new purpose is okay, kill Abby. That should be everything to her. She should not be caring about saving the kid because she's losing herself.
Yeah.
But I guess in the show she hasn't lost herself.
Yeah.
So maybe it does make sense that she wants to save the kid because she's not in any arc at all. But you know.
Yeah, that's really.
It is what it is.
Boil it down. It's really our main issue with the character arcs aren't there.
Yeah.
Like I can't. Who does have a character arc like that you can think of? Because I can't.
Dina's baby. It probably grows a little bit in the days.
womb.
Yeah.
It really doesn't feel like the Seth. He's like the only one with a character
That's
arc.
so funny.
And it's literally
That's so
just
fucking funny.
I'm a homophobe.
Yeah.
Fuck off, dude. I'm
I
sorry.
don't like gay people, but I want.
I'll
to
help you because I like Joel.
That's,
Like that's
oh my god,
it's-
that's so true. There's no other arc. I don't think. None of them do anything with their personal like. There's nothing there. It's oh my
Dina doesn't have her.
She doesn't. She's just like, oh, I'm smart and you're dumb, Ellie, and I'm pregnant now. That's it.
That's
Jesse, I guess, because he likes Ellie and now he doesn't, but then he still does.
No, even then, Jesse doesn't feel like if they set up like him voting no,
Yeah.
and then maybe regretting it, and that's why he goes to Jackson,
Yeah.
because he regretted this decision came to or like he voted no for the community, but personally he wanted to go to Jackson,
Yeah.
and his arc was, I mean, like Jesse literally gets no fucking up because he's
He's
dead
dead.
now.
He's dead,
like,
yeah.
which obviously
In the game,
they
as well.
needed to kill him,
Yeah.
but they
Didn't help enough.
shortening the days.
It's so stupid.
No suburbs,
Yeah.
no car chase,
Yeah.
no. You're not my type. Asians, like.
He would, yeah, I know. Make him funny, man. He's like Batman in the show. Like him saying like, "Oh, you think I'll let you do this on your own in the game?" is like that's Jesse. Why? Like that's he wouldn't say that in the show because he doesn't because he fucking is mad at Ali because he thinks
He's
that
so
she's putting,
stoic.
which she is. Ali is putting everyone herself before everyone, but like I don't know. Yeah, no, Jesse just if you take away the acting and like his like aura.
You just
As
he's
a
right.
character, and his writing is not that good.
I don't think Jesse is.
However, maybe it's a hot take. I do like so you know the scene in the game where like they part ways. Ali wants to go to the Ferris wheel, and Jesse wants to go after Tommy. I do like the scene. Not the scene as a whole, but I do like
The fact that Jesse is like, no, you need to come with us.
yeah. And then Ali being like talking about like everything you do is for the community. Well, you want to know about my community. My community got killed in front of my eye. I do
Yeah.
kind of like that, but. Once again, it's trading subtlety for like saying it straight to your face. Like, no, Joel died. I need to go kill Abby. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The visual effects were really good
Oh, amazing.
on the boat.
But
Where she arrives from the boat.
is
Why?
I don't understand what that scene is. I was genuinely like confused as I was watching it. I'm like, okay, so are they gonna do the Abby scene but with Ellie, which they kind of like were trying to do, but then
What do you mean by that Abby scene?
remember in Abby's day one when she gets strung up and they
Oh, we're talking about the Seraphites now. Okay, yeah. Yeah, what the fuck?
that was so
That's
weird.
not needed.
Yeah.
That scene was not. It literally
It has
went
nothing.
for like. It added 2
4
minutes to the
minutes,
runtime.
yeah.
The only thing it did is like you hear the explosion.
Yeah.
But it's like you can already you have the scene of Isaac and the other lady talking.
Yeah, I know.
About how there's a big battle
war.
happening.
Yeah,
tonight.
and it not only is it like does it not make sense, it also like makes the story unbelievable because why the fuck would the Scars let Ali live?
Yeah, just pop it.
Everything we've seen so far from these two factions is that they kill everyone who
Yeah.
not a part of them. They're very tribalistic in that way. They willingly let Ali go because there's a war. Yeah, I guess it shows that like
It would have taken an extra
they're
20
so consumed.
seconds.
But exactly. It doesn't seem like the ends justify the means for letting Ali live.
Yeah.
But
And it's like, especially that main, like the lady that
Yeah.
was, she seemed really bitter.
Mhm.
Like, and then immediately switched it, like, no, let her go.
let her
we'll
go. Yeah, it's like pick up the gun and fucking shoot her.
It's not hard. It'll knock her out. Do
Yeah.
something.
So stupid. But nevertheless, that scene happens, and immediately you forget about it because she's
Yeah.
back on the boat.
Don't know why.
That
like,
just felt like a fucking.
I
fever
can't
dream.
think of, unless they just wanted to give the Scars more. But
I have
even
no
then,
idea.
like, there's no point thinking about it. 'cause
Yeah,
we're not
no,
gonna come
I'm
up
not
with
gonna. Yeah,
what
no,
they
they
wanted
would
for.
do
maybe
some fucking 60 chests with that.
Maybe there'll be a scene in season 3 with
where like
Abby and
Abby's
Lev
in
on
the
the island
bushes,
in the
watching
bushes.
Ali get strung
And
up.
she's like getting ready to like help Ellie
Yeah.
for some reason, and then doesn't because she gets let go in your hand. Maybe that's what they're gonna do. Who knows?
Maybe, yeah. You know what? That might actually be a thing. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, she gets to the marina,
Yep.
right? Using
gets
a
to the
flashlight
aquarium.
in the dark halls to let everyone know that she's there. By the way, you know, fucking
No
amazing
dog,
survivor
no dog
instincts.
to kill.
No dog to kill. Which
In-
I like dogs, but she should have killed Alice because that.
In the game, before you turn into Owen and Mel's cutscene,
Mm.
you can go left and you can go into Abby's room.
Yeah.
And
Whereas
you get some information there.
you see the firefly pendant.
Yeah,
and
that
you see the
could have
beds.
been. That could have been
Cool.
included. I know you see the beds. straight
Yeah,
away
she
and you
jumps
see
into their
there's
room.
like
Yeah.
5 of them.
Yeah.
And you see the bloody bandages and the like it's all there. And then the actual scene itself is so
Weird.
like Owen and Mel are arguing. Owen wants to go help Abby. Mel says no, and then it's like just it's not great.
Yeah, no, okay, like to deconstruct that scene a little bit, in the game, right? That's like, what, fucking 50th time? In the game, Ali is trying to do the same interrogation technique that Joel does. In the
Yeah.
game, also, Ali, they set up that Ali knows about this thing because you see fucking Tommy using it. You
Yeah.
don't see him using it, but you come across the aftermath,
And
right?
it's like,
And Ali
Joel
explains it
taught
to
us this
Dina.
method of
Joel taught me
getting
this. Blah, blah.
information.
That doesn't happen in the show. So automatically that scene doesn't have as much impact because you're like, oh, how the fuck does Ali know about this?
Yeah.
But nevertheless she still tries to use that method. But in the game, her emotions get the better of her, which makes her unable to do it, right? So she gets really mad, so she gets close and she starts screaming, and that's when Owen jumps her. In the show, fucking she doesn't fail at the interrogation, which
Owen
is so important to her
tries pull
character.
a gun on her.
Yeah, it's so important that she fails because it's showing that she's not Joel. Joel is willing to interrogate someone without thinking.
That also annoys me a little bit because the show, we've only seen a little bit of Abby's career and a little bit of Owen, but it seems like they're trying to make a point of making Owen out to be a smart guy.
Yeah.
Like, he tells him not to kill Ellie, and then what else? You literally only see him for the... Like, my point is they're trying to make him out to be smart. Why would he pull a gun on someone who's point blank got a gun pointed
because the
at
reason
him?
he grabs Ellie in the game is because she
She's
points it
close.
at Mel. So she's like, point to where she is, and then she doesn't. So she's like, fucking point. She goes in, and then Owen grabs the gun. That makes sense, because one, Mel's pregnant, and two, she's not aiming at Owen, and Owen is smart, so he would grab the gun, try and fucking thing. And he almost does, but then obviously Ellie, he underestimates her, so he gets capped. Whereas in the game, in the show, Ellie just fucking shoots Owen and accidentally kills Mel.
Yeah.
And then you have that whole weird thing where she's like, you need to cut the baby out. I
was
had
like,
no idea what the
is
fuck was going on.
here?
I genuinely thought that they were going to save the baby.
Yeah, I
why would
thought
you
maybe
do that?
it was like... Yeah,
I can't understand why they would do
Mel Mel goes into a fever dream and thinks that the baby is out.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't
there's
know.
no... Like, why? In the game, she just fucking kills Mel.
Mel without thinking.
Sees she's pregnant.
Which shows how far she's come, that she will kill two people that she does, like, and not think about it, right? And then at that moment, that's the worst thing she's ever done, because she's pregnant, which is parallel to Dina, and obviously, and then she has the panic attack, and then when Tommy comes in, you hear Joel's voice.
Yep.
And then she gets pulled out of it. Like, that's such fucking, like, perfect, like, material that you could have just put in the show and they didn't. Like, it's like they're so stubborn that they don't want to do what the game does, that they intentionally make it worse. It doesn't make sense to me.
It's like they want Ellie to be a completely different character, but I can't see why.
I can't see
where they're going with it.
I don't get it.
And season 3 is most likely not going to have Ellie in it for a lot of it.
Well, yeah, Bella Ramsey has already said that they won't have a big role. They said minor role.
Yeah. So that's epilogue. Epilogue's going to be one episode. Maybe.
Yeah, probably.
Or who knows? Maybe they'll do the epilogue as a movie.
Maybe
like a special. I don't know. But it's like Ellie's character is just so different, and there's nothing wrong with being different. Like, but in the same, the differences that they're doing with a character don't.
You have to
justify the story. Yeah. The story doesn't justify these differences. It's like they want the same backdrop of a story with a completely different character in the story, but also they want to hit the same beats. They want the same people. They want the same people to die, but it's like we don't want them to die the same way because we don't want people to dislike Ellie. But it's like no one's gonna dislike Ellie. Everyone hates Abby.
Yeah.
Why would people dislike
I know
Ellie for doing the same thing?
It feels like they're
they
trying
do.
to adhere to the criticism of the second game, which is like one unwarranted.
Stupid criticisms.
Yeah, like
the only valid criticism of the second game, which I still think is a subjective criticism, is not the pacing, but the way that they structure the story.
Yeah.
Instead of having it be I think it's.
But I can understand why that would be like,
as a game, like you got to look at it as two different games. You got The Last of Us Ellie, The Last of Us Abby.
Yeah.
And then it's.
But then they've fucking gone and done it even worse.
Yeah, keep talking.
In the show, it's like going to be even more of an egregious pacing thing, because it's not just you're playing an extra 5 hours in the game. You're watching a whole new season with just Abby. Also, 2 years after season 2 comes out, so it's even more of like a fucking jarring thing, right? So like, I just feel like in an attempt to be more appeasing to the people who didn't like part 2, they've kind of isolated both sides. If that makes sense.
I agree.
What happens after Owen and Mel death? They go back to the cinema, right? And then fucking that pretty much is a beat for beat in the game. Yeah. Except Tommy,
the Jesse conversation is different because they've made Jesse different.
Yeah. And then oh my god, that Jesse fucking capped, which
popped.
Same thing as the game.
Yeah. Fine. Why doesn't I'm trying. You see Tommy get shot before you switch to Abby, right? Yeah, you do.
No, you don't. No. He's just on the ground, and then she points it at Ellie. She's like, "We let you both live, and you wasted it." Points it at Ellie, like close up on Abby's face, and then it cuts, and then you only get to that part again after.
No, but I swear, because I remember I texted you saying when I first played it, I was like, "Holy shit, she just killed Jesse."
Yeah,
and Tommy.
Nah,
I
no,
thought
you don't
she
see.
killed
No,
Tommy.
you don't see
You don't
Tommy.
see it? Maybe I'm misremembering.
You don't
Okay.
see Tommy, but see,
Is Tommy even in that scene?
I don't know.
He is. He is.
No, no,
Yeah,
he is.
and he's like run.
That
run.
shot at that fucking weird editing
Yeah,
choice.
the-
That shot is probably her killing Tommy or shooting Tommy.
But-
He's gonna jump up
but-
and then like
Bang! Right, point blank.
yeah.
Point blank. Cuts to black as you hear the gunshot.
Yeah, I know, it's so weird.
She can't. That.
And also,
in
why
half a
is
second.
Ali being like, no? Like, I don't understand. Like, why the fuck have they done these things, you know?
Yeah, and then, like, we see Abby Day 3, like, Abby Day 3, sorry, Abby Day 1
Yeah.
is the ending of
Yeah, which I
Season
feel like would have been...
2, which could have been after credit scene.
Yeah, I do like that, like, you see everything and then it just says Seattle Day 1.
Yeah.
I do kind of like
How
that.
would you have felt if they kept Abby's dad's stuff out of the story and season 2 ended with the first Abby thing that you do, where you are playing as her in the zoo and it's like you learn that her dad is...
You know, that could have worked. They could have been... They never explain Abby. And then you have episode 7 the same as it is, except it cuts at the theater scene.
Mhm.
You go and it's like a little bit shorter, so you get rid of the fucking Seraphite scene, all the
Get
filler
rid of the
shit.
stuff that shouldn't be there.
And
in the
then
first
you
place.
have the opening scene with Abby in the hospital, where she finds her dad dead. Jump cut to the Joel scene, which is killing Joel. And then cut to Seattle, to Abby waking up in the WLF base. Have that same scene in episode 7 where she's looking out at the stadium, and then have Abby Day 1 or Seattle Day 1, and then cut end of season. That could have been like impactful, right? Because you don't know anything about this girl, and now you're learning all of this information at once, and you have to stew on that for 2
and
years.
then like you don't have to wait. Like in the game, you don't have to wait. The second you switch to Abby, you learn.
Yeah.
In like a 10-minute sequence,
Yeah.
you learn everything you need to know.
It's
that's
whiplash
why
in the
she-
best way. Normally, whiplash in like a narrative is like weird, but in this case, it's perfect, right? But in the show, you've learned about Abby's past so far back that it doesn't even really have an impact anymore.
Yeah.
So I think the best way they could have
They probably
done
won't
that.
even have that scene in the show with her dad.
That's the thing. I don't know.
Like,
I think
this-
I think that
point-
season 1 will open up with that. I mean, season 3 will open with that.
It doesn't serve a point though. Like
Yeah, it doesn't. But because
it's just gonna be there.
yeah, because the whole point of that flashback is to have Abby's face crying at her dad's death, and then smash cut to Joel.
Yeah.
Joel's scene. Like, yeah, I don't really understand what they're gonna do with that, but that's that's season 3's territory.
Yeah.
What do you want from season 3?
Action. I
Yeah.
think
Because they do
season
it well
3
with the infected.
has the potential to be the best season of the show.
Yeah.
Which so far it's not got a lot of competition. It's got to be better than season 2. I think.
Yeah.
Because season 3 has the most room for ingenuity, I think,
Exactly.
with the writers. So, sorry about the cut. Season 3. Biggest takeaway with season 2 is they do action incredibly, really well, and the stuff that is original is the best.
Yeah.
And when I say original, I don't mean changing
The
existing
source
things.
material, it's building upon
It's
the
building.
source material.
It's adding, like, it's like you have a... What's a good analogy that I can come up with on the fly? It's like you've got this bouquet of flowers, and instead of changing the colors here and there, you're just adding colors around.
Yeah.
Adding different flowers, and
Yeah.
it looks really cool.
So season 2 is like you took out all the flowers and then put in
It's like you had roses, and you took them out, and you put
in a
those
PlayStation
fake
controller.
roses.
Yeah,
A
exactly.
PlayStation controller.
It's completely different. Doesn't
Yeah,
make
it
any
is
sense.
completely different.
It's like if you tried to put the roses inside of I don't know, like a fucking
Paper bag.
a paper bag.
Yeah. But yeah, with season 3, I think they have a lot of room to be creative. They have a lot of room to just build upon the existing, like the subjectively mistakes. I think they're mistakes that they've made with season 2's writing.
Yeah.
They don't have to live with that for most of season 3.
No.
They can be completely. It's like a fresh start.
Yeah.
And if they can take Abby and her days and make her character just like equal to how she is in the end. Don't have to do it the same way.
Yeah.
You just have to have her hit the same beats, which is literally the people I'm with are fucked up. What I did was fucked up. Now I understand
Joel.
Joel.
Which never say that. They probably will.
You don't say it. It's you realize it through Lev and Yara, mainly Lev.
Yeah.
Because Lev's is like the alley substitute.
Lev is. I'm really curious how they're gonna
do
cast.
Lev.
Yeah.
You reckon Lev could be the guy who played the live action Aang in Avatar?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's a bit old. Was it Gordon something?
Yeah, something like that.
But he's a bit older now. But Lev's only meant to be like 14.
Yeah,
Right?
and the thing is, like Abby, the actor for Abby is so short that like
She looks
it
so
would be so weird if
young.
Lev was taller than Abby. But you know, well, I guess we'll see. That was another thing about Abby. When you know what, it's fine. And then no more.
I'm excited to see Caitlin Denver.
Caitlin Diva, yeah.
Or whatever her surname is.
I do like her.
She's in a show called Unbelievable, which
Yeah.
is unbelievably good. It is her performance in that show is amazing. That show is really, really
Abby
good.
so far, I like.
Yeah, I don't have any complaints with Abby. I know, obviously, you can cherry pick and say her physique is too small,
Yeah.
she's too skinny, like, and that's I don't think
is
that's
fair.
unfair
It
to
is
say
fair, yeah.
because a big part of Abby's as a character is her
body.
gym junkiness
Yeah.
and her obsession with
Turning
wanting to
herself into a
physically be
Yeah.
the best, so she can do what she wants to do.
Also, like her physical strength hides how weak she is, like mentally.
Yeah.
Like, she's so insecure, not insecure, but like so damaged
Yeah.
inside that she covers that by being so.
Muscular and
Yeah.
strong, which it's like.
But I guess you can explore that in other ways with Abby in the show.
They could make her just be like a tactician's mastermind and
yeah.
be extremely
Yeah.
smart when it comes to combat.
Because there has to be a reason why Isaac wanted Abby to be the next one, so they have to justify that in the show in season 3 by showing her doing some fuck. I mean, she's gonna kill the Rat King, so
Yeah,
I don't have high hopes for season 3, but I am interested. I will watch it because I don't think that they can do as poorly as I think season 2 did.
Because it's like, how could they change Abby and that makes it worse? Like
have
if they just make her completely like evil,
yeah.
maybe, but I don't see them doing that.
No, I don't think so. And they can't make her like a fucking hero as well. Like there has to be like Abby in the game.
Which they obviously, you were saying earlier, they're having a writers team meeting on how they want to.
If they want to have season 3 be the final one, or have season 3 be Abby and then Santa Barbara of season 4. So I'm not sure.
Yeah, we could stretch it out. Who knows? But I think season 3, ultimately, their strengths right now lean into what Abby's days are. Action, big set pieces.
Yeah.
Sort of like.
So hopefully,
it's
season 3.
The Abby arguably isn't as subtle. I know it isn't explicitly stated like this is the same arc that Joel had in season in the first game.
Yeah.
But it's like it's literally in your face. Like here's older girl, younger boy. First game, older man, younger girl. Yeah. It's like in your face type of subtlety.
It's mirroring.
Where it's like it's so just what it is that you can't call it subtlety.
You can't fuck it up, surely.
And it's so that's why I can't see how they can. I don't know what they could do to. And saying I feel so rude saying I don't see how they can fuck it up. Like they fucked up season 2 because they didn't fuck up. They did fuck up.
Like it's a good
to
show.
To us, it feels like a fuck up
because we love
my
hatred. My disdain for it comes through the lens of
we love
the second game.
The second game so
and
much.
seeing it as an adaptation. Okay, I would say they fucked up the adaptation. They made a very good show on paper, or like as a functional show.
I still think some of the writing choices in the show are stupid.
Yeah, true. But then see, the thing is, it's hard for me to get into that perspective of someone who hasn't seen the game.
Yeah.
So
like all the people we know that haven't played the game that watched the show really like the show.
So
a quote unquote amazeballs. From someone.
Yeah. So maybe you know what? Maybe they fucking think the writing is amazing.
Maybe
we're experienced peak.
Maybe
fiction.
we're the ones that are wrong.
No,
But-
I'm never wrong.
No, yeah.
I'm never wrong. Never.
It's like it's so the game is so clearly, and I hope like people don't see that as like for us to say you made a fucking amazing piece of fiction and then just didn't do it as well the second time.
Game, yeah.
Like
I mean,
that's
the
not an
second
insult.
Nah, not
Because
really.
you still made the game.
Yeah, and like the thing is, Well,
And it's
Neil Druckmann's
I have first time making a show.
I have a
right?
lot of and Craig Mazin was like the showrunner of it, so maybe a lot of it was.
What else has he done?
Which isn't
Anything
an
else?
attack. Yeah, he did Chernobyl.
Chernobyls really
Yeah.
good.
Chernobyl's
really
one
good.
thing
Good
Neil
job.
Druckmann once said was he doesn't care if people hate it or love it. He just doesn't want them to be indifferent. Which I'm not indifferent. Like it.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
a
not-
piece
I
of
just
art
like it.
that we react to, right?
Yeah.
So what's important is not that like we. I don't think they care if we like it or not. It's just more about like that what they have done has
Yeah.
made us feel things, which it has. And not to say that the show made me feel nothing, because episode 6 was fucking very emotional.
Very good.
You know, like
And there's like plenty of specific moments you can
sprinkles.
point out and say this is really, really good.
yeah, exactly.
It's
just as a
the,
whole.
like the backdrop of
Yeah.
everything is
Yeah.
not as
yeah.
good.
It's like if you made a cake, right, and it was covered in shit, but like underneath it had like
Icing.
some icing, you know, like
No, it's like you had a cake with chocolate icing on it.
yeah.
But it's like some of the icing is icing and it's shit. So when you
Yeah.
bite it, you're like, am I
Yeah,
gonna get
exactly.
how much icing am I gonna get in this bite?
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
I don't think there's a single episode that doesn't have like
Some level of shit.
some level of like I didn't like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Which of course is all subjective. If you love the show,
Oh,
you hate
yeah,
I
all
mean,
power to you.
If you hate the game, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
If you love the show, that's fine.
Yeah,
You can
exactly. Because it is
appreciate
a
the
well-made
changes.
show, you know. And people are allowed to be wrong. That
Yeah.
is the thing.
Like
So but but you're not allowed to be wrong with The Last of Us Part 2. It is just a perfect game.
it's
Um,
the hate is so forced.
I will ride that game's penis until the day I die.
The hate is so forced.
Yeah, like
Oh.
Hey,
Hey, but you know, maybe if Ali was straight, they'd actually
yeah, exactly.
Because it would have been so much better if Ali was straight. Let's be honest.
Yeah, probably. You know what? I agree.
If Ali was straight, it would be an 11 out of 10.
Yeah, because Dina would have been Daniel.
Yeah, and then like Ali and Joel could have. Nah,
Yeah.
fuck daddy daughter. It's daddy daughter. Like
you know what?
the
That's
subtext was always
fucking
there. I don't know
amazing.
why they didn't just.
I got
full
you, baby
force.
girl. Like that's straight out
Bro.
of 50 Days of Summer. You know?
He literally like is grooming her.
Exactly.
Like, he saves her from a pedophile,
Yeah.
and then
he kills people to keep her alive.
to keep her alive.
Why else would he want to keep her alive other than
Come
wait for her
on.
to turn 18? We got to think about these things,
Yeah.
okay?
He tried his best to not tell her the truth
Yeah.
and lose her because he just wanted. I can't
He
say
wanted.
it. I
he
can't
wanted.
say it.
He wanted. It rhymes with T-Rex, which Ali
T-Rex?
stands on in the museum flashback.
T-Rex?
What?
T-Rex?
It-
What happened to
T-Rex.
T-Rex?
Let's leave that. Let that.
Oh,
lie.
sex.
Let's let that die like Joel did. Okay. Now, Last of Us season 2 as a whole.
Not as good as season 1. I enjoyed watching it week to week, but overall I am disappointed and unsatisfied.
Okay, Last of Us season 2 for me was very unsatisfactory. I think that I would just play the game.
Yeah,
You know?
honestly, play the game or
Play the
even
game.
just watch someone play the game.
Yeah,
Like, you
honestly.
don't have to play it yourself if you don't want to.
Yeah,
It's a long game.
it is, and
like
it's
20 hours.
fucking
Can be difficult at
diff-
times.
yeah.
Very well, but if you aren't used to playing games, probably don't start with that.
Yeah,
Oh, actually,
start
start with the first game.
Yeah, exactly. But as a whole, I feel like it fails as an adaptation, succeeds as a functional TV show, and that's about it with that. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
But
that's
you have to, everyone listening, you have to, or watching, you have to keep in mind, like, it's genuinely impossible for us to remove the game from our game.
yeah, it can't because it's an adaptation.
Yeah, not even that, because, like, I can't forget the game.
No.
So I can't look at the show as.
Yeah.
So this is why I really should have just watched
Yeah.
it before I played the game. But then that might have ruined the game.
Yeah, it's
Who
like if
knows?
your parents divorced and you have a stepdad.
I wonder if someone who's never played the game and loves the show plays the game, would they have the same thoughts on the game that
See, that's
we do on the
interesting.
show?
I don't know. I feel like I can't speak about that because I played the game first.
Exactly.
But like
we need a guinea pig.
Yeah, we do. Maybe someone would be like,
Techman, whose name isn't going to be spoken.
Yeah.
Have you played the games? He shook his head no.
He shook his head no.
Have you seen the show?
shook
He
his
doesn't
head no.
watch shows.
He doesn't. And
he
he
falls
was
asleep.
Yeah.
He didn't even move an inch at the red wedding. Like
Yeah.
he was
Yeah.
unfazed.
He didn't know who the people were. That's
I
the
promise there's someone there.
issue. Yeah,
Do you
there is
wanna
someone there.
clap?
Yeah,
You hear that? There we go.
Claps.
That's our secret
Yeah.
tech man.
But yeah, no. What were we asking? Oh yeah, if someone who has seen
Hasn't
the show,
seen-
I feel like because I feel like the writing is objectively better, that they would like the show, play the game, and they'd be like, oh, the game does it better.
They're like, wow. I mean, that's usually what happens when you read a book. Like,
Yeah, well, yeah, I've happened to me multiple times.
Like, well, I read it after watching the
Yeah.
first movie, and I was like,
oh,
wow.
It
this
chapter
is-
2 is so bad. It chapter 2 is so
Yeah,
bad.
because I saw it chapter 1, read the book, saw it chapter 2, and it's
Yeah.
like the change from why am I talking about it right now?
Yeah,
This
no,
is gonna
yeah,
take
yeah,
too
yeah,
long.
no.
But
See,
like, what I'm
if you
trying to
want other thoughts on other stuff that we like, then tune in
Please.
next time.
hit us up on Instagram or TikTok.
Mhm.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
.etp. It stands for enterprise, not what you're thinking.
Yeah.
Shoot
Shoot
us-
us. ETB stand for.
Eat that pussy.
Ah,
Yeah.
yeah. Also do that, but ETP
No,
first.
no, no.
So, no, don't do
ETP
that.
for enterprise.
Ali did. Sorry. Go, continue.
That's
Sorry.
great. All right. So shoot us a DM on Instagram if you have a specific thing you'd like us to talk about. Obviously, we're not fucking famous, so
Yeah,
we'll
yeah,
see it
yeah.
and we'll talk about it because we like talking about things.
Uh-huh.
Look out for our next episode, which will most likely be about Bring Her Back.
Yes.
Raka Raka's
Raka
next
Raka.
film. We
Horror
both
film.
love Talk to Me. We'll get into that in the next episode.
Yeah, we will.
If you're watching this on YouTube, please consider liking, subscribing. It helps out a ton.
Yeah.
Comment. Do all that. We'd absolutely appreciate it.
We will send you money
No, we
if you
won't.
do.
We really hope you enjoyed Here's the Thing episode 1.
Of The Last of Us season 2 spoiler cast.
We're
as they say.
we're gonna try our very best to get some better equipment. So
Yeah.
like, we forgot to talk about the.
Oh yes. All right. Wait. Before you go, before we go,
We bought these karaoke microphones.
and they were fucking useless. Well,
Yeah.
first of all, they had echo, so it sounded like we were in a minefield.
yeah.
They have an odd shape, kind of like a dildo.
Yeah, like
but you know.
yo. Like,
Yeah.
it's just it looks weird.
We just look like reporters, right? So instead, okay, all right.
We're gonna
That's
try
crazy.
our best to get some
Wardrobe malfunction there.
decent quality mics. Be
Eventually.
prepared for the set to change. We're filming this. What? Oh, the tech guy just told us to turn them on and show you the echo. Well, that'll be a Patreon.
That will be a
exclusive.
Patreon exclusive.
We don't have Patreon.
We
but
will.
Maybe
though.
one day we
Eventually,
will.
If
you
enough
want it.
reviews come.
But yeah, look out. Bring her back next week, hopefully. And then we're also going to have an episode on Claire Obscure,
See.
the turn-based game that
Which
has
is
been making waves.
Fucking amazing. Anyway, no, we'll get.
I
to
haven't
that.
finished it yet.
We'll
When
get
I
to that,
finish it,
we'll
we'll
get
make that episode. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you for listening. Thank you
guys
for
so much
watching.
for watching.
We hope
Until
you
next time.
enjoyed.
Adios.